It's range day. Good morning. This is Graybeard Gamifying. Thanks for joining me. So today I am out at my archery club range to do part 4 of my GURPS ranged combat archery test. So I'm now at the 80-yard target. This is target number 5 in the club's field archery course, so I'm already a little bit sweaty from shooting the first 4 targets. But this is the longest range target that we've got at the club. So before I start shooting, I want to talk about some of the feedback that I've gotten on the first 3 videos. Specifically, one of the bits of feedback that I got from friends, family, and my glasses are fogging up, so let's get rid of those. And from Reddit, which was great, is that I should be using a +4 non-combat situation modifier. Now, I remember this being a rule from 3rd edition, but I don't remember seeing it carry over to 4th. 4th does, however, have a +4 non-adventuring modifier when you're taking care of tasks under mundane circumstances. The example they provide, which was again pointed out by someone on Reddit, was an airline pilot who flies potentially thousands of flights throughout their career, and it's not a big deal to them anymore. Now, I was hesitant to apply that because my initial read of it was that it was intended for non-combat. And the more I started thinking about that, the more I realized that I was being too literal with the rules. It makes absolutely perfect sense to have something like that apply. I was a fan of the 3rd edition, +4 non-combat situation. It's very humid here, so I'm definitely sweating. I should not have worn black. And I can vouch from personal experience that aiming a weapon at a piece of paper is a very, very different thing than aiming it at a human being. It doesn't matter if the situations externally are identical. The simple fact that you are aiming a weapon at a living, breathing human being whose life you may be prepared to fundamentally, catastrophically, and irrevocably alter changes things. Your pulse starts to elevate. Your vision starts to do weird things. It's a very real effect. So it makes absolute sense to apply that penalty. So my initial resistance to that is gone. I'm going to go ahead and factor that in to what I do on this shot, and I'll see if I can retroactively do it to parts 1 and 2 and 3. All right, so we've got a bear. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the target size modifiers. Number 1, I think that the size of this target, you can look at the size of my hand for comparison. This, I don't have my tape measure with me, but that is about 3 feet, a yard, maybe a little bit more, but it's definitely more this way. And I think that if I count myself fortunate to hit even this backstop, I'll consider that a good solid hit. So with that in mind, the worst penalty I could reasonably apply based on the size, speed, and range table would be a -1, but in this case, let's just call it a flat 0. We have a saying here at this club that there are only 2 kinds of archers: those who miss their targets and those who lie about not missing their targets. So I've shot at this range before. and I have missed it completely and sent arrows into the woods that I was unable to find. So you can see that the arrows that I typically use, I like the traditional look. This is a composite arrow or a fiberglass shaft arrow, but it's designed to look like wood with very natural color feather fletchings. This, if I miss, I'm never getting this back. I'm not finding it out there. I will look, but chances are I will not find it. So instead, I'm going to use these. They are the same spine as these. They're slightly thicker shaft, but they are just like this one. They are 500 spine. Where are you seeing it? There you go. They are 500 spine arrows. They're matched to the draw weight and pull of my bow, but much more visible fletchings. I only have 4 of these. I used to have 6. Then I pulled an accidental Robin Hood and I destroyed one by hitting it right on the knock. And then the other one, the knock popped out. So I'm going to take some practice shots with these first, just to see if I can dial it in. First shot of the day, or at this range. All right, so that landed shy. I'll be able to find that pretty easily. It looked like it hit about 10 or 12 yards away from the target, just shy of it. So I need to elevate my aim a little bit. Still shy, but closer. So close. All right, so all 4 of those shots landed shy. Let's go take a look and we'll try them again. Once I've got it dialed in with the range, this is a hard shot. The penalty on the GURPS range table for 80 yards is a -10. So that's significant. So let's take a look at where they actually landed. And once I've got the range dialed in, I'll try it again with the arrows that I'm normally used to shooting. Okay, so we've got 2 arrows right here. And as you can see, that's, well, let's just paste that out. 6.5 paces. So considering what my pace is like, that's probably about 5 yards. Not bad. I mean, 5 yards off on the range. But there's 2 here. One that actually hit the ground here, skidded underneath, and ended up here. And the 4th one, I have yet to find.
A few moments later.
Found it. So here we are at the target. This one landed here. So again, it hit and then skid forward. So we are just about maybe 2 or 3 yards beyond the target here. All right, the humidity is climbing very fast as the sun starts coming up higher and higher. So I feel like I'm underwater right now. But let's keep going. All right, practice round 2. That last one clipped a branch, one of the intervening low-hanging branches on the way. It looked like it was on target, but then when it hit that intervening terrain, it deflected. So that's 4 more misses. I hit that intervening branch again. That one was, it felt good. It felt on target until it hit that branch and deflected down. This is the culprit. That low-hanging branch. I don't have anything I can do about that. I also have to consider the possibility that 80 yards, this is a 35-pound draw bow, and it may be that 80 yards is just at or near the maximum effective range of this particular bow. 80 yards may be at or near the limits of my present skill level. Let me go recover my arrows. I saw where all 4 of them landed.
1 eternity later.
Well, for a while there, I thought I was going to have to report 1 WIA and 1 MIA, but I found the missing one. However, we do have a casualty. The knock popped off. That will happen, especially when you have arrows that you have really just shotten, is that a word? It is now. Shotten lots. And you can see by how much the front coloring has been worn off by going in and being pulled out of the targets.
Giggity.
It is, these are old arrows, which is why I've got my newer ones here. Still no hits on that target. And let me pick up my knock here, because he can be treated, he can be saved. It's getting really nasty out here. You can see I'm sweating tons. And I'm sure that is factoring in to my accuracy rate here. So I think I'm going to call it for now. If I were fighting in a combat engagement and I was aiming at a group of soldiers, it is very likely I would have hit several of them. But at a point target, I wasn't hitting. So I need your help. If you're watching this because you just came across the video on YouTube, or if you came here from the Reddit thread where I was discussing this, how would you call this? So let's go over the modifiers that I have thought to include, okay? So 80 yards, -10. Target size, we're not worrying about that. We're going to call that a 0. I definitely took maximum aiming possible. So we're looking at the accuracy of the longbow plus an additional 2. Okay. Then we have the +4 for being in a non-combat, non-stressful situation. So that, with those involved, would give us a total modifier of math is hard. So what else am I missing? What should the environmental factors be? Because definitely the sweat and the humidity. What about the intervening terrain I kept bouncing arrows off of? How would you rate this? I mean, seriously, we hit a 0% hit rate, but because of where the arrows landed, they're fairly close to my point of aim. How would you call it? So let me know in the comments, or go over to the Reddit thread if that's where you found this video, and let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, I'll revisit this. I'll come back maybe in the fall, less foliage to deflect off of, better temperatures, lower humidity. And in the meantime, I'll keep working on things in my backyard range. I'm going to be doing some axe throwing and grenade throwing. Dummy munitions, of course, nothing live. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you guys around.